In a few years, if you don't have a Neuralink, you're probably not going to be competing in esports because esports is about to get funky. Funky. Sorry, 90s baby, you know exactly where I'm going with that song. But Prime Study Progress Update, second participant. This is for Neuralink. This is actually on Neuralink's blog. Neuralink is the company that, like one of the side companies of Elon, where they're gonna put a chip in your head and you can basically Bluetooth to the computer. And it's really in hopes that people who are paraplegic can walk again, people who are blind can see again, and people who are deaf could hear again. But people are going to take this and put it into other industries and make it recreational. And some of the stuff that we're seeing in phase 2 is insane. So let's go ahead and go through this. It's a short little read, but we're going to eventually get to the part where he's playing Counter-Strike Go with his mind. And it's a little rudimentary now, but this is the worst it's going to be. It's only going to continue to get better from here. Just sit back and enjoy. Here, take a virtual hit of this metaphorical blunt. Yo, Emily, here, go ahead, take a step back. Go ahead, take a little ripskis. I appreciate the follow, but listen to this. Last month, Alex, the second participant in our Prime study, received his Neuralink implant. And they're calling the Neuralink implant, Link. The surgery, conducted by Borough Neurological Institute, went well. Alex was discharged the following day, and his recovery has been smooth. With the Link, he has been improving his ability to play video games right off the rip and begin learning how to use computer-aided design or CAD software to design 3D objects. So maybe stuff like Blender or Procreate. This marks another significant step towards providing high-performance interface that will enhance the control of the digital devices for people who are quadriplegic, or with quadriplegia. I guess that's just people who don't have autonomy over their appendages. The overarching aim of the Prime study is to demonstrate that the Link is safe and useful for daily life. As noted in our last blog, in the blog post, we shared updates with this experience and our second participant across the three key dimensions that support this aim. 1, out-of-the-box experience, a repertoire of capabilities, and thread retraction mitigation. So these were kind of like the 3 things that they're trying to improve upon from study number 1. And this was interesting because the thread retraction mitigations, if you guys have been following this, your brain actually pulsates. Like sometimes, you run real hard, you can almost like feel your heartbeat. Well, your brain kind of does the same thing where it's pulsing. And apparently on the first study, this is why we got to do studies, they did not account for how much the brain actually pulses, and it pushes the threads kind of out. Now granted, there's a lot of threads to kind of fight this, but apparently they're going to add even more threads to help mitigate the loss and connection, really, because the further away the threads are to your brains or the neurons are firing, the worse the signal is. Basically, they just get shitty ping, right? The further the thread is away from your brain, the worse ping you get. It's like you're in Atlanta connecting to a European server. But the out-of-the-box experience, so breaking this down further, from the first moment Alex connected his Link to his computer, it took less than 5 minutes for him to start controlling the cursor with his mind. Within a few hours, he was able to surpass maximum speed. Hold on, I gotta take a hit to finish this. He surpassed maximum speed and accuracy he achieved with the other assistive technology in our web grid test. Similar to Nolan, who was the first participant, who was also on the Joe Rogan podcast, fantastic listen. Alex broke the previous world record for brain-computer interface, or BCI, cursor controlled with non-Neuralink device on the day he was using the Link. After the first research session concluded, Alex continued testing the capabilities of the Link independently, using it to play first-person shooter games like Counter-Strike. I'm really surprised, or I'm already super impressed with how this works. This is his words, and this is his cursor right here. Like, obviously right now we're a little faster than what the brain is going to be doing because I'm doing this with my hand, but eventually, my eyes are moving to the blue dot before my cursor is, and in theory, Alex or whoever is using the Link is going to be able to do this faster than somebody who has, appendages, who's basically a meat vessel. Eventually, we're all going to have to become Cyborg from Teen Titans, basically. Can I get a booyah? Okay, repertoire of capabilities. Alex enjoys building things. Before his spinal cord injury, he worked as an automotive technician, fixing and tinkering with various types of vehicles and large machinery. Since then, he wanted to learn how to design 3D objects using computer-aided design so that he could work on projects without needing to rely extensively on his support system. However, the level of control offered by his assistive technologies made this challenging. So on the second day of using Link, Alex used CAD software Fusion 360 for the first time and managed to design a custom mount for his Neuralink charger. Dope. Which was a 3D printed and integrated to his setup. We are working with Alex to increase his productivity with the Link by mapping the intended movements to different types of mouse click, i.e. left, right, middle, thereby expanding the number of controls he has and enable him to quickly switch between various modes in the software, such as zooming, scrolling, panning, click and drag, all of these different things. And we kind of take for granted all the different technologies that we have on our computer at our disposal on being able to scroll up and down or being able to click down and then highlight. Like, these are all things that are mapped. And now if you have a brain computer interface, you have to basically remap those inputs, right? Just like if we had a controller or a mouse and key, we have to remap those inputs. But now instead of remapping it with the WSD, it's with our freaking our brain, our medulla oblongata. Taking an idea, putting it in design, and actually having it as a physical item, as a finished product, makes me feel like I'm building things again. That's so cool. So this is like a video of him, what he's building. Let's see this. There is no audio. But you can see that once more, he's just clicking, he's dragging this with his mind. It blows me away that we're able to have this technology where people are able to control shit with their mind. In this video, Alex uses his Link to carve out the center of a custom mount in his Neuralink charger. On the right side of the screen is a mode switcher that was developed by Neuralink, which leverages to quickly change the functionality of his mouse. Alex also enjoys playing first-person shooter games, which he generally require the use of numerous inputs, including 2 separate joysticks, aiming, moving, an array of buttons. Before receiving Link, Alex enjoyed playing these games using an assistive device called Quad Stick, which is a mouth-operated joystick with a sip and puff pressure sensor and lip position sensor for clicking. However, a key limitation of the controller is that it only has one joystick, restricting Alex to either moving or aiming at any point in time in the game. Yuck. Switching from moving and aiming involves letting go of the joystick and then sipping or puffing into a separate straw to toggle the functionality. Damn, so he has to that's crazy. Now Alex is able to use Link in combination with the quad stick to move and aim simultaneously, unlocking more intuitive gameplay experience. Just running around is so enjoyable because I can look side to side and not need to move the quad stick left and right. I can think about where I want to look and it goes right where I want it to. It's insane. Literally, this is insane. We're watching gameplay right now of a guy playing Counter-Strike with his mind, getting kills. Honestly, if you're watching this video, this guy's probably better at Counter-Strike than you are, and he's using his mind. You're over there sweating, using your whole body, and he's over there just big-brained. It's crazy. Okay. The thread retractions and mitigations. With our first participant, Nolan, we observed a degree of thread retraction that temporarily reduced the BCI's performance. So this is what we were talking, or what I was talking about at the beginning of this, where it's like your brain pulses and like threads will start to come out, and it's like, that's shitty ping. That's basically what happened. The threads have stabilized, and the performance of Nolan's Link has since recovered, more than doubling prior the world record for the BCI cursor control. Fantastic. To reduce the probability of the thread retraction in the second participant, we implemented a number of mitigations, including reducing brain motion during the surgery and reducing the gap between the implant and the surface of the brain. We discussed these measures in a greater detail in our live update prior to our second participant surgery. Promisingly, we have observed no thread retraction in our second participant. Interesting. Now, I'm curious because I'm sure the amount of pulse that our heart, muscles, brain do kind of all fall within a certain margin, maybe a few millimeters to 5 2 to 5 millimeters, but 2 to 5 millimeters still leaves 3 millimeters of wiggle room. So in theory, what I'm trying to say is Nolan's brain pulse at maybe a higher or a more range, like a wider range at like a 5 millimeter pulse, while maybe our second participant Alex has like a 2.5 to 3. So that's why we're seeing no thread retraction. Or is it just because they've added a fuck ton more threads to kind of keep it stable? Or could a little bit of both be happening? Like they learned from like, okay, we need more threads because of this. But looking forward, to further enhance our participants' experience using the digital devices, we are continuing to expand the controls that are available to them. We are working on decoding multiple clicks and multiple simultaneous movement intents to deliver full mouse and video game control functionality. This is so cool that this multi-million-dollar company that's working on being able to allow people who can't move, to not see to see, who can't hear to hear, that they're like, yeah, we hear you, we see you, we feel you, and we know you want to play video games and you want to be the best of the best. Don't worry, we're going to make that happen. I think that's cool. I think that it's so cool that they are literally saying right here, we are working on decoding multiple clicks and multiple simultaneous movement intents to deliver full mouse and video game controller functionality. That's dope. We are also developing algorithms to recognize handwriting we are also developing algorithms to recognize handwriting intent to enable faster text entry. Interesting. I wonder what that actually means. These capabilities would not only help restore digital autonomy for those who are unable to use their limbs, but it would also be able to restore the ability to communicate for those who are unable to speak, such as those with neurological conditions like ALS. Wow. Okay. Well, thank you for explaining what that meant. Additionally, we plan to enable Link to interact with the physical world, allowing users to feed themselves and move more independently by controlling their robotic arm to their wheelchair. Yo! So they're literally the guy from Ant-Man, a big head on a chair, little arms, little legs. The Link is a big step in the path of regaining freedom and independence for myself, Alex. This is the second participant. Wow, this is crazy. And the fact that, once more, what we're witnessing right here, this is with somebody's mind. With his mind. We really are living in the future. Oh my gosh, I need to take a rip of this because holy crap. I mean, granted, we need to talk about centering, but I'm not even mad. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wonder, because he has the mouthpiece and the Neurolink, so I'm assuming the Neurolink is the movement, while the mouthpiece is probably like the aiming and then the firing. Yeah, and what's more, if you're watching this, this guy is 100% better than you. In this clip alone, he's gotten 3 kills in a round. Definitely better than anybody watching this video.